right, what's going on, guys? We are just now going live here on Reality Rules. We will be covering our day one coverage of Pirate Booty Camp. This will go for, what do we say, 3 days, Susan? Are we going till
3
Tuesday?
days, yeah. I think I got everybody scheduled in to do it by Tuesday.
So we are going to be through the next 3 days, each evening, covering a couple people from Pirate Booty Camp and what happened there. As always, I am Andrew Gibson, who will be covering this, and we've got Susan Camosa, who will be covering, but she also played in Pirate Booty Camp, so that's exciting. She'll be here with us throughout the whole thing. I'll preface these interviews with, I personally don't know as much as went down. I know what I've heard from Susan, which some people might even say is bullshit, because we know that Susan likes the bullshit, and what these people are telling me. So I don't know straight up when to it down, but we're going to try over the next 3 days to kind of figure that out. But if you have any questions, as always, message Susan Camosa on Facebook or type in the Reality Rules chat, and we'll definitely get those asked. We are first joined with our couple of the season, Kirk and Dustin, who was the winner and the second boot of the season. So we're going to be getting into it with them. But first, let's just hear from both of them. How about we get you to introduce yourselves, who you are, where you're from, and what Pirate Booty Camp was for you.
Awesome. I'm Carlson, and Pirate Booty Camp, I mean, I've known Rebecca for ages. Rebecca is the host and kind of the producer of the whole season, the series, and I've known her for a number of years. When I played my first org back like 10 years ago, she was in it, and that's how I met her. And I had been playing live games before I ever played orgs. I'm one of those strange people that did that ahead of time. And Rebecca was obsessed with it. She was so intrigued. So she came out to one of the games I hosted back in, like, I don't know, 2010 maybe. And I think that started this whole thing that became Pirate Booty Camp. She just became so intrigued with it. And her and Terry just built the best thing. So that's kind of how I got involved with it. She, needed players. And I was like, I'm so in. This sounds amazing.
And was this your first time to play, Kirk, or have you played this one before?
I was a returnee player, so I played last season as well, and I got 4th place last season.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Is that a good intro? I think
that was perfect. That was perfect. Great.
Awesome. Cool.
Alright, so I guess it's my turn. My name's Dustin Epper. I met Kirk probably 6, maybe 7 years ago. And when I met him, he talked about this Survivor thing he did, the camping weekend and whatever. We originally started with what was called Coco Paley back in the day, and now we have switched to other things. We post some other things, and since I met him, we've always done these things. This is my 2nd year doing this for Pirate Booty Camp. I got a little further last year, but still, coming in as a couple is always pretty hard to get far in the game, for both of us at least.
So let's discuss that for a second. When you came in as a couple, originally all the returnee players were on a tribe for the first day, but that was with no votes. So did y'all, after the swap, were y'all still on the same tribe, or were y'all split?
Well, Kirk actually won the challenge to decide who was going to be on each other's teams, like a classic schoolyard pick. And Kirk, you want to explain how you did that?
So we had a water endurance challenge. We had to hold water. So Baxter and I, because our tribe's challenge lined up with the tiebreaker component of it, we were holding water over our head for about an hour. It was insane. And we didn't know what the reward was. If I knew it was a leadership thing, I probably wouldn't even play hard, because I know Survivor, and usually you don't vie for, like, I want to be captain of the team. Hell no. Like, that's not the intention. So then Rebecca twists it up. She's like, you're the captain. And right then you're picking, like, schoolyard pick, who's on, like, your team. So initially, last season was played like Pirate Master. Oh, sorry, we have interference with live animals right now.
No, I had it too. You're good.
Yeah. So it was like Pirate Master. The teams flip-flopped back and forth all the time. And so it was easier for Dustin and I to go deep because we didn't have to worry about the tribe components, because the tribes are always flipping. It was like one world almost. But I thought it was in both of our best interests to play our own game. So when I picked tribes, I picked with who I aligned the closest with. And I'll say it, on night 0, like, everybody meets, and I got tight with Susan, Craig, and Cody. And I was like, those are the three. If I can get them all in my tribe and we can get through like the initial humps and work together, we're gonna do it. And I'm sorry, Dustin, he just walked out, but like that wasn't a part of the plan. Everybody asked me why I was sad when he was voted out. I was just sad. I really thought I was the initial target and Dustin would go deep. But because of a Kathy Smeckman twist, I think that's the reason I went further and Dustin did not, actually. A lot. I just talked about that.
So, yeah, you were split and all those things. I mean, you created this foursome. So are you saying that Dustin really never played into your game? I mean, were you ever going to try to get Dustin, or was it always this four and then Dustin kind of fell where he fell?
It was Dustin fell where he fell. I mean, I gotta be honest about it. Like I was hoping he could find maybe his own four. Four is the magic number for me in Survivor, and like when I said 4 + 1, 5 makes people uncomfortable. Like it's not it's not as harmonious, and the four of us just gel. So it's not like I don't feel like I was throwing it to the wolves, but it's like it's Survivor. I don't know. I thought it was best for both of our games. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, well, backing up to night 0, Susan and I had a very late conversation that night, and I was with your 4. I was in the 5. Susan and I had an agreement that we were going to be working together on night 0. So, unfortunately...
I was going to totally flip with Dustin and screw one of them over. Me and Dustin agreed that we would work it the best we can, and when we got together, him and I would take it over. So Dustin was actually who I wanted to be with. When he left, I was super sad myself.
Yeah, so after the tribe swap, Kirk left me on 18 with Michael, Baxter, and Brian, all members who I had voted out last season and had bad blood against me for last season. So it was the 3 returnees that wanted me out, and then 5 new people that also wanted to return me out. So at that point, I had no chance. I was clearly the first target to go from that team.
So, Dustin, do you 100% blame Kirk for your elimination from Pirate Booty Camp?
No, I blame the twist. We were on a stronger tribe. It was a challenge that both teams went to tribal council.
Yes.
And we dominated them physically, mentally, strategically, on all the puzzles and challenges and stuff. Had it not been a twist that both tribes would have sent a person home, I would have gone a lot further.
One of us would have stuck on that round. One of us was going that round almost positively, without a doubt. One of us was gone that round for sure. It's just both tribes.
So this leads me to my next question. Who was more sad when Dustin went home, Kirk or Susan?
Susan, because I know Kirk and the boys all had their original 4 and 2 alliances, and I knew I could get Dustin. So Susan was really sad, and it was hard because I didn't go to comfort Kirk because I couldn't be like, I'm just so sad your boyfriend left because I wanted him at Final 2 with me.
It was so sweet, though, because you kept giving me the opportunity. We found out seconds, because it was a double tribal. We see Dustin walk back to camp, and I start to lose it, and Susan's just like, do you need a second? And I'm like trying to, I'm thinking I can control my emotions, and I couldn't. So I hold it all the way till tribal council. And the other tribe gets to sit at tribal council eating apples, which, by the way, an apple at this point would be amazing when we're starving. And so they're sitting there with apples. Kathy Sleckman is at that tribal council, and I start bawling in front of everybody. It's like that Survivor moment, that person that just goes way over. They just went overboard. Like, whoa, I just lose it. And I think that's the only reason that I've stayed in the game.
It was bittersweet, though, too, because the next thing we did was reward, and Kirk got the chance to chain 2 people together, and he totally went up there, and I'll say it how Kirk said it. He totally gave out. He was like, who voted Dustin out? Because that two's getting paid.
That was really just...
So let's get into a couple more just general live game questions. I mean, obviously, as you said, you were starving. What would you say was the most comfort item that you missed while you were gone?
Oh.
I would say a shower. I don't like to be dirty and sweaty and smelly and other things. So
Kirk and I got a shower. We got our reward.
the main thing that I missed.
Yeah, you know, I like camping. I like going around. So what do I miss? When we actually won the hammock, it was something comfortable to like sit on or lay on. That's the thing I miss the most. Was just like your ass hurts after a while. Like the ground and wood, and like you're just like, my ass, like I'm uncomfortable. Like that hammock, oh my god, like life was furious. It was awesome.
So both of you have also played online before. What's the big difference for you from playing an org versus a live game?
Well, for me, I'm 4, maybe 5. I'm not an player like most of these people are playing with this game. I feel like we really have to connect with people more than online. A profile. It's really getting to know connecting with them.
I completely agree 100%. It comes down to, like, online you can build relationships with people, but it's different when you're with a person for 24 hours a day. So if the relationship is intimate, you know it, and you have to connect with that person. You can't, like, turn off the computer and go, oh, make that something. Like, no, you're together, right? Say that Survivor, I like these Survivor games because the relationships you build.
But
like,
we also, as a 4, had a good Survivor moment. The standing in the rain, that was like a baptism for us because we sucked at all the challenges and we kept losing. But that rain standing with you 3, like I just felt like that was the point where we were like, whatever it is what it is. But it's us 4, and
yeah,
we got it done.
It was our baptism because had we lost the next 2 challenges, we could have been prolonged. We literally could have gone to, like, 2 people could have gone to fire before merge happened. So I feel like that was pretty, epic for us to, like, put ourselves through that, to save our fire, stand in the freezing rain.
And then thank God Kirk ate the nasty beetles to break the tie at the end, and thank God we all went out and lucked dice because Craig was able to totally take control of that after we all got set out.
It's like, boom, boom, boom. Craig wins the challenge. Thank you. Oh my God. We're
Okay,
lucky.
so I have some questions that have been submitted by people that you played with or hosted you or different things. So let's get into those. The first one is for both of you to answer, and that is that this is the second season you've played together. Do you feel this season or last was worse being targeted as an actual couple?
I personally believe last season was worse for being targeted as a couple because we were under one world. There's a lot of part. Like in this last season, we were in camp, so we weren't being together as much. I guess you could say.
That's true. But at the same time, we were targeted way earlier this time than last time. So I guess in some ways, being a returnee and a couple both times made the target. To me, I think it was worse this season only because it happened so early in the game.
This one we kind of answered, but let's just say it again to see if anything changes. How do you feel about playing as a couple in the aspect of, are you an automatic final 2, or would you both vote the other out? I know you didn't actually have to cast the vote for Dustin to go Kirk, but is that a vote that you would have cast?
Do we want this strategy out there? Are we ever going to play again?
Yeah, I probably don't, but
Listen,
We can pass on the question.
I don't think we're going to pass. We're for sure never a final 2 together. And I don't think that makes any sense, right? Like, it's pretty logical, right?
yeah.
Like,
What?
who's more convincing to a jury to get the votes in your direction and trying to get that person on jury? So that's been our strategy both seasons. Didn't work either season, but...
So with that being said, though, do you think that, Kirk, could you actually write Dustin's name down, or would you have to make sure that the majority was there without you?
Well, I guess we can talk about the first time that we played together.
We played once before both Pirate Booty Camp. So actually, season 1 of Pirate Booty Camp was our second time playing together. And first time we played together, we did go deep, and you tried to eliminate me.
I did.
At Final 6.
Final 6, yes. I saw my opportunity, but you were luckily enough of a liar to convince someone you had an extra idol.
So after that happened, I then voted Dustin out the next round, Final 5, and eliminated him. So I have written Dustin's name down, and I have also promised him that I'd never do it ever again because I love him so much.
Right.
So maybe that's another reason why I didn't want you on my tribe. Like, I don't want to be in that scenario. I don't want to have to vote Dustin out. So
I'm fine with voting Kirk out. He's gone far enough, so I'm fine voting him out next time.
Right. I'm first boot whatever game we play next. I know that much.
Okay, this next question is for Kirk specifically. I don't know who asked this one, but how important was that Kathy's immunity for you? And why don't you explain that? Because, like, I don't know what a Kathy immunity means. But what was the situation and how important was that for you?
Honestly, I think Susan can probably explain it even better than me, to be honest. But what I gathered, and this was, I believe I was being, I heard post-game that I was being blindsided that round. This was the round that both tribes went to tribal council. The winning tribe got to listen on the losing tribe's tribal council and also eat an apple while they were at it. The twist was the losing tribe went to tribal council, and Kathy Slepin would write down one name, and that person received a hidden immunity, basically, from the vote. This is literally right after Dustin's voted out. I'm bawling my eyes out of tribal council. I don't even think we know about this yet. And then they're like, Kathy Slepin gets to vote one name down and give them immunity. And
Andrew, at this point, the whole tribe is voting Kirk.
Yeah, so I literally pointed to the people on the side of me, and I was like, oh my god, I got this one. Like,
as soon as we heard it, everybody switched to Evan, except for one person, who Kirk was wrong the whole game about the one person who voted him.
Yeah, totally confused. And I think that might be a question coming up. I'm not sure, but
It is.
Because the Kathy, without the weirdest twist in the history of live Survivor games, I could not have won the game. And had my tribe lost, had we won, Dustin would have gotten the idol. I'm like 100% convinced. Like, Kathy was all like, oh, I feel bad for this couple. One of them was just voted out. So I'm convinced that
had we actually lost.
Do you think if you knew it was Craig that was your vote and not Cody, things would have been different? I mean, your craziness level?
Totally. Totally.
I went chasing after Dustin, and he's like, it's him!
Absolutely correct. Like, keeping that a secret from me was the best decision for the three of you, because the whole game, 9 through 6, I had people being like...
Cody didn't even know it was Craig. I took the blame. I told Cody it was me. I was the only one that actually knew it was Craig. We decided it would work better that way.
Wow, that's crazy. So I guess my question is, how did you guys decide to change your votes to Evan? Like, how did that even happen? Because I don't remember a thing. I have like a blinders on from that tribal council.
It was going to be you. You were going to be the only one voting for Evan, but once, like, they said the whole Kathy thing, we all kind of looked at each other and was like, well, we know who's getting saved, and Craig was the only one. He said he did it just, well, I'll let Craig explain when it's his turn, but we all knew that it was you, and we all decided, and I was bad. I mean, I like Evan. He's great, but, I mean, at that, there was an order of picking. Like, you can't deny that we had all decided, and after that point, it was just like, oh, well, it's us four, and we're going to figure it out.
Wow. It's crazy to think, Survivor's a game of missing information. You never know everything that's going on, and when you do, you're always like, what the hell? Oh, my God. So close to losing, dude. Like, crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So for this one's for Dustin. Dustin, being first boot from the tribe is always sad. Did you know you were going? And who do you think had the biggest hand in actually getting you voted out?
who had the biggest hand of getting me voted out would be Kirk, because he put me on a team of people that were gunning for me before the game started. I knew I was going home because, like I said before, there was bad blood from last season with Michael and Baxter. And Brian was an F-note, so maybe he could save me, maybe not. But I think just the number of people that were put on my team after the school year pick, there was no chance of getting around that at all.
Awesome. Okay, so for Kirk, this is from Cody. Sorry I'm speeding through these. We've got about 10 minutes because we've got to get through 2 more people, and I have to be done before Big Brother starts. Okay, this is from Cody. How shocking was it that I wasn't your vote? If you knew right away it was from Craig, how different would it have been?
Cody, I would say completely different. Like, you guys, I think you guys knew my personality so well, you couldn't tell me that in the Game of Survivor, and I'm thankful of it. I would have flipped on Craig. With Chris, Pete, and Tristan all wanted me to use the idol to get called out, or Susan, and they were constantly telling me all those rounds. So like Cody's like, being nervous about anything was totally accurate. They were telling me that. And I will say, had Craig not won immunity at Final 5, there's a good shot he would not have been at Final 4.
Oh, really? I was thinking the same thing too. Cody and I just talked earlier, like, what would we have done if Chris would have won Final 5? And I'm like, I don't know. That would have been a whole new game.
So tempted to give him the idol if Craig, only if Craig, because he was clearly the challenge for that. That's the only reason. I hope it's a compliment to him because.
Yeah, he was a beast. But hey, I came in 3 times behind him, so.
Susan, you were a beast too. I mean, for real. Like, no joke. Like, yeah. So I was completely surprised by the information. I thought it was Cody because he was acting so trippy at camp, like shaking and twitching, and I'm like, dude, that's you.
Yeah, that's just how he is. But like, that was the funnest part, like chasing you and then chasing Cody. Like, for me, making sure us 4, because like that was the biggest crack. You and Cody, anybody in the game could have used that, and I just think it's amazing that that crack still melted. Like, neither you were like, he wants to flush my idol. He's screaming, he's gonna idol me out, and I'm like, no, you guys are cool. We got this, and it just worked great. I mean, amazing, amazing.
I missed that, Kirk. What'd you say?
We were like 2 like brothers getting into fights or something. Like,
yeah, yous were, but it was all in fun, and it was great. I mean, I wouldn't change anything that happened. Maybe
Okay,
have gone to fire and made Craig's arm tired at that final challenge. Maybe.
For Dustin, both seasons you left before Kirk. Is there any animosity about that?
No, if I could be the winner, like, I'm glad Kirk got so out of it. So I'm happy for him. Absolutely.
thanks, babe.
For Kirk, what was the hardest part for you about getting to the end?
For this season, because I was like I had an idol from an idol bearer, I like to call those people. That was challenging, just making sure it wasn't getting flushed. But honestly, it was the relationship with Cody, and I think he probably said the same thing. Our alliance was so solid. We were the only part of it that was a little fractured. So I feel like that was probably the toughest part. And honestly, and I don't know, so, like, it was really easy convincing Craig to take me to Final 2. So like it was an argument of basically, I'm going to vote Susan to win the game, and so is Chris. He already told us. And Susan, is going to vote for Craig to win. So it was like, the hardest part was really Cody. And me just being ignorant about the fact that he didn't vote for me. Cody looked at me and be like, I'm never going to write your name down. And I'm like...
I have one comment for Dustin from Craig. Craig wants me to tell you that he still feels bad for spraying you in the face.
Spraying me in the face?
Whatever that means, so whatever went on there. Craig said to tell you he feels bad about it.
I guess it was the water challenge, but he wasn't on my team, so.
Well, that's a story maybe you two can work out, right? Maybe we'll have to touch base with that when we get Craig on.
Okay, next question for Kirk. What was the hardest? No, for Kirk. This is from Tristan, Pete, Chris. Why did you always say you vote with us and then not do it? Why didn't you flip on your alliance when you were given multiple opportunities?
Okay, so, I think those are plausible ways to get to the end, but I felt like my relationships, like, I'm a Greg this too, like, he's watched me play 2 seasons, like, I pretty much stick with people, and I don't like the flip-flop game, I don't think I'm good at it, so I don't think my road to the end is possible with them. And here's the other thing, not one of those 3 ever said, I'll sit with you at the final 2. The only person that ever said that was Craig. Especially on day 2, day 3, day 4. And so, why would you go with people that didn't suggest they would be at the end with you? I mean, that was their fault. If
Are
they
you
had made
sure?
an
Because
argument,
I heard you were diabolical and the meanest man to ever walk the earth, in Baxter's words.
I said, I'll use the idol to get out people from this alliance. I said that to all of them. Yes, 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 yes. That's why they were mad at me. That's why people didn't want to vote for me at the end of the game, mostly, I think. But, I mean, Susan, you know where my allegiance was. It was with you guys the whole time. We didn't know what was going to happen at Final Four. It was kind of a mystery for us. So, I was lucky to win at Final Four. That's really
Yeah,
what
I
it came
heard
down
I
to.
was supposed to go at 4, so I'm appreciative of that. I like my 3rd place. I was told the story last night, so all right, he is the better friend because I totally wrote his name down and wouldn't go to fire.
All right, one final question. This one's for Kirk. How does it feel winning? Did you think you would win, or did you just go in and hope for the best when it reached that final 2 part?
Well, I did not. I didn't go in thinking I would win the game at all. I mean, that sounds like a cop out because I played 5 times. I played 5 survivors. It's crazy. I'm insane. But I thought going into the 2nd season, I was an early boot. I was a first boot. I don't know if I'd make, ties with people. But it wasn't until our new tribe where I was able to pick the tribes. Dustin was voted out, and I even said I think I dug in my heels, and I thought I think I can go to the end with these 3. Like I think we can do it, and that's when I started perceiving maybe I can actually win this game. So
We
it was
forward the shit out of it.
just go with the flow, and then out of kind of early was like, yeah, I think I got this. But wasn't sure. I was not sure at Final 3 or Final 2 how it was going. I thought. Like, at the end of Final Tribal Council, I thought Craig was winning too. When they did the draw polls, had people raise their hand, I thought it was Craig. So I was for sure.
All right. Well, I appreciate both of you for being on with us for our first Pirate Booty Camp winner, our episode with the winner and his significant other who got 15th place. But again, we have Kirk and Dustin, 1st and 15th this season. Any final words from you guys? Anything you want to say to maybe Redemption or to other people? This is your last chance to kind of get your Pirate Booty Camp information out there.
That's so true. For me, it's all about recruitment for Rebecca. If people are watching this and they're interested in big, I would say take a risk, take a shot, try it out. Regardless of your placement, you're going to make relationships and friendships for the rest of your life. So it might sound like a big, happy little rainbow at the end, but I really think it changes your life. If you're an order, get out and play a live game. It will change your life, I promise you.
I'll agree to Kirk on that because forever, you 3, seriously, never being camping and stuff, I couldn't imagine it have been a better experience with anybody else but you 3. Especially because last year you and I bonded, you and Frank bonded, and, it was great. I loved it.
So thanks for having us.
Thanks,
It's
everybody.
super cool to do our
No
first
problem.
little.
Thank y'all very much. Again, I tried my best with what I have, but not having seen the season, I just love to hear these kind of things because I've played a lot of online and I've watched and I do the Real Foot Eggs interview, so it's always fun to get in the heads of some people that played. And Dustin, even though you screwed me, I love you and I think we're friends still and we should keep in touch more. But if we ever play again, you're the first one that I'm going after.
Wait, who are you talking to, me? Because I think that was directed.
No, Susan, I don't trust your ass to save my life. Okay, let's get this out here before we move on to Pete. Pete, you're going to have to wait a minute. Let's get this whole diversity and crap out there before this. I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this, Susan, so maybe I shouldn't. But
no, go for it.
No, I don't know if I'm supposed to because I'm still in the other game. But all I will say is this bitch right here left for a game, leaving me to protect her in the game that she was currently in, and her ass nominated me while she was gone.
I sent him a fake list. Frank told me when I eventually talked to him, he's like, Andrew is pissed.
She talks to me saying she's going to send me this boot list so I can help protect her and know where her vote is. And needless to say, the whole damn time I was number 1 on her fucking boot list.
Goodness.
Susan!
So
it was my like, I'm screwing you and I'm not even here, Andrew.
Pirate Booty Camp 3.0 bullshit. Don't trust this bitch. She's a snake. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Kirk. We appreciate you being on, and we will hopefully hear from you soon.
And we have Pete on now.
Here now too.
Oh, yeah, Pete,
Watch it.
All right, that was Dustin and Kirk, our winner, and 14th place from Pirate Booty Camp. And now we are on with Pete, our 6th place Pirate Booty Camp player. So, again, Pete, I am Andrew. I'm the host here of Reality Rules along with Susan, and I am excited to have you on, but I didn't get to watch the game, so I'm kind of just going with information and things that we have. Susan, if we have questions, will you send those to me?
I'm doing it right now. Pete can go ahead and introduce himself.
But Pete, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, Pirate Booty Camp, all that good jazz.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Pete Morgan. I'm from far southwestern Kentucky. I was the only 60-year-old in the game. I love Survivor, and I played in Real Foot this past year, so I've been watching you all on the podcast doing all of those guys.
Awesome. Okay, so why did you decide to play Pirate Booty Camp? Like, you're a love Survivor. I mean, you're not a young duck, even though you might be young at heart. So what makes you want to go out and play this with strangers for just pride on the line for a weekend? Like, what makes you do these things?
That's a great question. All of my friends and family ask me that. Why do I want to do this? I think once it gets in your blood and once you get the opportunity to do it, I just think you want to try again. Like, I talk way too much, so I try not to talk as much this time, but that's just impossible for me.
So what was the hardest part of Pirate Booty Camp for you?
You know, I just love it all. I honestly cannot tell you, Andrew, that any of it felt really hard. I didn't really get hungry. I slept pretty good on this one. Maybe understanding the different relationships and how they play into the game. I'm still trying to learn that.
And that is something, because yes, this is Survivor, and yes, this is a live version of it, but it's different from the CBS version because the CBS is strangers. But in this game, there are pre-existing relationships that do sometimes exist. We just talked to Dustin and Kirk, who were significant others of each other. Susan had a pre-made, whatever she wants to fucking call it,
right,
coming into this game. So how does that really affect the game? Because it's not a straight CBS Survivor. There are pre-existing relationships that exist.
It definitely affects the game. I felt like when the two teams were divided up with the returnees and the newbies, that the returnees really did have a hand up on us because they already knew what their strengths were. They already had some alliances. They already understood the game, and many of them had already played some of the challenges. Well, for us, we're still trying to figure out who we are, who can do what, and none of us had played any of the challenges before. But of course, we didn't stay in that organization very long, and we got mixed up. And then I felt like the game was a little bit more on a level playing field.
Awesome. Okay, we got some questions that were submitted from some people you played with, so let's get to those.
Okay.
Why did you call out Susan and Cody? Did you think that would save you the round that you did that?
No, I didn't think it would save me at all. I knew I was going home. I had said from the time they got together, I compared them to the Phoenix in the fire, that each vote that they survived as a couple, they were getting stronger and stronger. And I didn't think everyone else saw that. I knew I was going home. It was either me or Chris. And so I thought if there was a prayer, if there was a last minute flip, that could be it. But I knew I was going home, and I had not made any giant moves in the game. While that certainly was not a giant move or a big surprise, it just gave me that opportunity to tell the rest of them what I saw.
Okay, so the next question is, how did it feel? I guess you won the returning comp. So you were voted out and then you came back. So how did it feel when you won that returning comp?
Wow, that was an amazing feeling. I was competing against 9 other kids. Balance is probably the only challenge I could win. I mean, I certainly held my own in all the challenges. I did not ever come in last in a challenge. Well, maybe that puzzle one later on. But it was just an amazing feeling, but I felt good about that challenge from the time I started. That was an awesome feeling. I don't think anyone gave me a snowball's chance to come back into the game. And when I saw what the challenge was, I felt pretty good about it.
Okay, so were you shocked with the first vote out because you couldn't or shouldn't have been, and then the second vote out, you blew up on Cody, so how shocked were you with the first vote out?
Oh, that was a complete blindside. I thought it was Griff. Everyone told me it was Griffin. But I'm the only one that voted for Griffin. I had what I thought was a pretty strong 4 alliance, Michael, Baxter, and Tristan and me. And I'm not exactly for sure where that fell apart. I've asked them all since then. They've all given me the same answer. And that's just something I'm going to have to learn if I'm going to play Live Survivor.
Well, I will give you insight to this. Had you not blown up, it was Chris leaving that round. But once you called everything out and made that whole, they're looking for their third, I mean, Cody legitimately stood up and said, all right, 100% him
100%.
then.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. You really
100%.
were going that round. Chris was.
And I said 100%. I wouldn't vote for you if you were in the final 2. I was kind of ready to go, guys. I had watched. I knew I wasn't going to break your 4. I kind of all that would have given me was one more place bragging right. I'd have been 5th instead of 6th. I was not breaking into that 4. There was no way to. You were as solid can get. And so when I saw Tristan and Baxter and Michael setting up the tent in the jury camp, that was one of the best nights of my life. When I got voted out, I had the best time with those guys. And really, for the whole experience, that might have been my best moment that y'all probably don't even know about. But just hanging out with those guys for just a second, for just a blink, I didn't feel like I was 60. I felt like I was 20. And those guys won't ever know what that meant to me.
Awesome. Well, Pete, hey, we appreciate having you on. Is there any final words you want to say, people maybe that you played with or different things like that, anything that you want to mention?
Yeah, always one of my regrets in the game was Craig. He knows what I'm talking about. And so I kind of hate that happened between us. And I know it's no big deal. And if he's listening, he's probably laughing. But I still want him to know that. I did have a hard time voting for Michael. I want him to know that because I looked him in the eye and shook his hand, him and Baxter and Chris, and told him I was going with them. And I knew all along I wasn't. I knew I was flipping. And that was kind of hard on me. That was my one regret in the game is I should not have flipped. I should have come back and stay with my original alliance, even though it's given me a 5 instead of a 6. That was as well as I was going to do in that game. And but I had a great time. I would do it again tomorrow. And I appreciate everyone treating me as an equal.
And Pete, we will get the opportunity to talk to you again in season 3 because we do the Real Foot interviews also.
Yes, I know. I watch them.
So we're really excited about that and to have that opportunity. But we appreciate you being on today. I wish you the best as you continue to play these games. I have a respect for you because obviously someone your age continuing to go out there and fight. It's awesome to see, and I have a love and a passion for these games also. So we appreciate that, and we will hear from you very, very soon, Pete. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Susan.
Okay, Cody is here. Your host needs a 2-minute break, and we will get started with Cody here shortly. So we're going to take about 2 minutes, and then we will be right back. Thanks,
right,
Pete.
I'll post. Go ahead. Go.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, hold on. Andrew went bathroom. We're just setting up.
What?
Okay, is Cody here?
Yeah, he's here.
I don't see him.
Oh.
I hear him.
Oh, there he's here. He should. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay, we are down here with the man, the myth, the legend, and the asshole, Cody James himself. I think I can say that in complete confidence that probably most people that played Pirate Booty Camp would also agree that he's an asshole. And I would also probably agree that Cody himself would tell you he's an asshole. So let's go ahead and get started and turn it over to Cody. Introduce yourself. Who are you? How are you? Yeah.
Hey, I'm Cody James. I came in 4th place in Pirate Booty. Doing great.
I can barely hear you, Cody.
All right, you're going to have to speak up. Scream like you're screaming at me because I'm not listening.
Alright, this will have to work without the little video.
Are you there? I still am having trouble hearing you, Cody.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's better. Okay, so we're not going to be able to see Cody, but that's okay. Most of our eyes don't want to see that shit anyway. So we'll just go with the audio on Cody here. All right, Cody, why don't you wrap up your game? What was Pirate Booty Camp for you? How was the game? Tell me your side of the story. This is your chance to get your own shit off the chest before we get into some questions. And believe it or not, I have a shit ton of questions for Cody James.
Yeah, I mean, Pirate Booty Camp was absolutely fulfilling. As a Survivor fan, like, I completed every goal. You know, I ate the bug. I was the one who started the fire with Flint. I just did a lot of things that I normally do in my regular life. I came into the game knowing that I was going to...
Hold on, Cody. Wait a second. Susan, mute your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Cody. Susan was talking over you, which I'm sure she does that a lot too anyways. So, go ahead.
Like I said, I just came into the game with like one strategy: outwalk and outtalk anybody that was there. I will walk more miles and I will talk more game than you would. The return, that first day, the returning players versus the newbies was kind of refreshing because I had filmed the previous year, so I kind of knew a little bit about season 1 and like who had alliances and who had problems. And then I also got to make all the new alliances on the rookies truck.
So, you played last season too, correct?
No, I just filmed the last season. I was production.
Okay. So let's get into some questions that I have from some viewers. Do you feel like you played a good social game? You seemed so antisocial at numerous times.
I mean, I feel like I did my social game early on. I did all my walking and getting all my ducks in a row early on. So my antisocial was just me trying not to lie to anybody because I did such a good job of not throwing anyone's name out or throwing anyone under the bus that I just didn't feel like talking to certain people towards the end was gonna hurt me or, like do me any good. So my antisocial, I guess, was a part of my strategy because I knew I couldn't win any challenges against the people that were going to be in the end with me. So I needed you to want to take me to the end because you could beat me.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm reading these questions. If most of you don't know Susan, she's a shitty typer, so sometimes getting through this gibberish is horrible. Susan, I'm getting feedback on your end now.
Sorry.
So getting through to half of Susan's gibberish here is hard.
You should know my gibberish best.
Would you have stayed loyal to Will? Were there things you told him true, or was it just to further yourself?
I'm absolutely glad this question came up because on the first day before the game even started, I was like, I wanted a bromance, and there was Will, and he seemed like the perfect, all-American, outdoorsy boy, and I was like, we can do this. And then we were on the first tribe together, and Pete, Tristan, and Will pulled me aside and wanted to make a little four-way, guys deal, and I agreed to that, but I pulled Will aside personally and told him, I give you my word. I'm giving it to you, not to them. And honestly, I would have done everything in my power to keep him, but the morning that we woke up, Susan had told me Will threw my name out. I was just that hurt it hurt my feelings, I'm not gonna lie. So then I was just like, well, he's thrown my name out, he's gotta go now.
So your bromance was Will, and Kobe, I've got feedback again. Is it from Susan? Susan.
Yeah, it's because you're lower and he's not, so I keep going back.
Oh. Okay, so you say this bromance, Cody. I've been the victim of your damn bromance before. Susan's laughing because it's so fucking true. So, I mean, how existent was this true bromance? Was it just a him coming after you thing? I mean, what happened here? Let's go deeper in it.
Well, Kirk had an idol at that point, so there was no need to try to vote Kirk off because he would just play it, and I would have risked myself, Susan, or Craig going home. And Will, we woke up and Will had thrown my name out, and when we lost, Stacy had pulled me aside and she said, Will, and I just said, okay. It was going to be me or him at tribal council. I got votes at every single tribal council, 4 or 5. Because
okay, your next question. There was all this talk of pre-made. Was there any such thing with you and on your part? Did you go in with any pre-mades?
I to this day, myself with Susan, myself with Craig, we never made final 2 deals or final 3 deals like people are saying. It was more of just having a background knowledge of each other and a different level of trust with these people than what you can get with someone that you don't know. Because you do play with half these people online, so you have certain background or trust or a little bit of sketch with people. So
but how existent were those pre-mades?
Like I said, I don't find it a pre-made. I think if we would have been on different tribes, it could have been a whole lot different. But it was because we placed together on a tribe. That was what we have to go with.
Okay, Craig asked this question. Talk about the tribal where you stood, Susan. I'm gonna kill you.
So to mute.
No, she just muted her microphone. Stay muted. We don't want to hear from you right now anyway. Craig asked about the tribal. Talk about the tribal where you stood up and said 100% this guy.
Okay, so that was at Final 6 where we were splitting the votes because the pre-jury had thrown an idol that, the comeback people had picked up. So I was worried about an idol, so we split the votes. And on the revote, Kirk looked at me and he wanted to change the target. And I had been sketching all game, be paranoid, but I trusted him. But I was just like, why is he changing the vote right here at Tribal Council? And Pete, being the talker he is, that guy can just control a room like I've never seen before. And that's the only reason like he scared me, because the way people listened to him. He started talking, and I just couldn't have any confusion. I had to stand up and get the target correct.
Okay, Susan, you might be able to unmute this for this because you might want to give your opinion. Why did you agree to vote out Susan at 4, Cody?
I don't know. Like, looking back on it, like, I definitely should have, but like it didn't cross my mind. I didn't think. I just didn't think to do it. Like, I figured like that she would just let me fire at least, and I figured like I had the better chance in fire. So, joke's on me.
Do you regret it?
No, and yes. 'Cause, like I think the way I played the game, the way I set myself up through putting myself on the couch and looking like the outsider and building a better story, I think I could have won the game, but I didn't throw anybody's name out, and I really didn't turn my back or lie to anybody in the game, so that's the way I wanted to go out.
Jumpy was a tight 4. Which of them would you have voted out at 4 had you won the Final 4 challenge? And who would you have taken if you won the Final 3 comps to Final 2 out of your tight Final 4?
Well, there was only 2 people that I really thought that could out-talk me in the game, and one was Pete, and the other was Kirk. So I would have had to vote out Kirk at 4 because the guy can talk, and I believe that's what won him the game in the end, was the way he talked. So I would have voted him out, and had I won the final comp, I would have had to take Susan because Craig had already won 4 individual immunities.
Okay, so now let's talk. You voted Craig over Kirk. Who would you vote if it's Susan Kirk?
I would have voted Susan.
Susan Craig.
I would have voted Susan.
Why? I just want to know, is this a pre-existing friendship that you just could not vote for her, or is this based on gameplay? Like, why?
It comes down to the fact that, like, neither of us do this outdoorsy type thing. They are outdoorsy men, like, but she came out here and she slept. She slept in the dirt. She got stung by hornets, and she made it to the end, being one of only 3 girls in the game, if that scenario. So I think her story is a better vote.
And my last question. Or did you want to add something, Susan?
No, I'll readdress that when we do my interview next.
My next thing's for you. Finally, what is the one thing you would change about your gameplay, or one moment you would change?
I mean, obviously, the only thing I would change is the final 4 vote. I would have voted Susan out because the reason, like, I didn't want to vote her out because I thought she could have won the game as well, like, over either one of them, and I thought they were both taking her to the end. I think that's why I didn't think about it, but I played such a good game there between Merge and the Final 4 that I really think I should have just done it, because the option was presented to me, but I wasn't sure how legit it was, and I just didn't figure like throwing her name out would do any of us any good. So that would be.
All right, Cody. Anything else you want to say or leave or anything?
Nope. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, Cody, thanks for being on. Congratulations on your placement. 4th place is nothing to be ashamed of.
And he shouldn't, because I'll give him props. Cody's biggest fear is water, and Cody kayaked for the first time and didn't die and have a heart attack or quit. And he ate bugs.
I just got another question from Michael Canfield. Why you so sexy, Boo?
I guess I was born this way.
He guesses he was born this way. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cody James. Cody, thanks for being on with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we got about 15 minutes left until Big Brother starts. So now we get to and I'm still getting feedback, Susan.
Okay, done. Sorry, I was using the speakers for his so that way the audio would record clearer, but where he's gone now, we could be normal.
And so now I'm going to let Susan talk. Susan, you can tell your story of Pirate Booty Camp. I don't have questions for you. Even if I ask them.
Pretty much talked. I mean, it was an amazing experience for me. You know, I'm total city girl. Like, oh my God, roughing it to me is like no Central Air or no HBO. But I went out there on day 1. It was great. I got stung. I got 13 hornet bites on my legs, and my legs swelled up. So all day one, I was doped up on Benadryl, and I wanted to cry and call my brother Frank and be like, "Come get me and bring me a Starbucks coffee while you're at it." But I didn't. I just went through with it, and it was the best experience of my life. About the pre-mate thing, I mean, they're both right. I mean, obviously, Craig, Cody, and I have, like, we play together on these org games. You know, Cody and I are really good friends, but we were never like, okay, we're going to take over. Like, the point when us four decided to take over, it just worked out that way, and everybody's still like, oh, but it was pre-made, it was pre-made. 13 people had the chance to still vote the four of us out. They didn't do it. So whether there was a pre-made there or if we had existing relationships, it's not our fault that they didn't work together to get us four out. That was on them. They knew we were a tight four, so when Tristan and Pete came back into the game, like, I know they didn't want to work with the people they just voted out of the game, but you still chose to work with us. And yeah, we used them for that vote and then voted them out, but just because there was a relationship there, or like because we knew each other, had nothing to do with it. They had the equal opportunity to vote us out. I mean, you know how that works in games. You and me, Andrew, we've played that scenario before.
We probably will play it again and again.
Of course.
So, Susan, what was your favorite memory of Pirate Booty Camp?
My favorite memory is going to be standing in the rain with the boys, because we had to protect the fire, and the three of the boys were kind of like, oh, it's okay, Susan, we know you're cold, you know, because I'm old and shivering and like standing there, and they offered to let me go in the shelter and just relax, and I said, no, I'm not gonna play that. Oh, I'm a girl and I can't do this and I can't do that. So I mean, I'm proud of my game. I'm glad I got third. I'm happy with third. I would have been happy with fourth. I mean, some of the players feel that I got carried, but I don't feel that way, as Kirk just explained, and Craig will talk more on it in his interview. The hardest part of the game was keeping Craig and Cody from cracking. I mean, you and me always know there's a crack in that alliance, and once you can break that crack, all shit goes to hell, and that's what I kept playing. If we break our four alliance, everything's going to go to hell, and we're going to suck. Let's just stick together until we get everybody else out, and then we can fight amongst ourselves.
Awesome. And of course, just because Susan isn't giving her full story today, that doesn't mean Susan's going to be here with us tomorrow and, of course, on Tuesday as we wrap all of this stuff up. So we'll hear more commentary from Susan. But that's going to wrap us up for Pirate Booty Camp Day 1. And we will be back tomorrow. What time are we starting tomorrow?
Tomorrow we should be starting about 6 o'clock. I'm just waiting on 2 confirmations, but it'll be like 6, 7, and then maybe Craig wants to do his tomorrow, but Craig won't be home to work until like 9:30, so maybe 9:30, 10 we can do his.
We will post in Reality Rules as we've got these things scheduled, so be on the lookout there. We thank you for watching. As always, stay real, stay reality, and try not to get voted out. Bye, guys.
Bye.